Really quick, though. Really quick. I know. Listen, Tony Hawk's 900.
Oh my God.
We've seen it. A lot of people. We weren't there.
No.
But you could feel the energy coming through the screen.
Listen to me.
Please.
When I am old and in the rocking chair at whatever home they decide to put me in, and they're like, he's just standing off smiling.
Knitted blanket
Like
over you.
all that. I will be replaying that night in my head.
That's how vivid and how...
That's one, it will never diminish from my memory. Like all the way down to the fact that it was a balmy night in San Francisco. Like on the... how many times have you experienced a balmy night?
We're going to play this right
in
now,
San Francisco.
but we don't know if we could actually put this in the final edit because of X Games rights and
I'll
everything,
call.
but we'll...
I'll make a call.
Okay.
But that was the moment that changed literally our whole worlds.
Yeah.
Like everything changed.
Well, I mean, let's paint the picture here, too. It was the best trick contest. Colin McKay had won the best trick.
Absolutely had.
This was after time, and they were letting Tony run and extending the broadcast.
Now, here's where the intersection of all the things that make this moment special. It's Friday night in America. ESPN is prime. I was just going to show you if you went back.
Yeah.
In the
Which
that
one?
wide shot.
Yep. Right here?
Yeah, in the corner you see there's a yellow T-shirt above the X.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's me.
That's okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
just for history's sake.
That's where I was.
That's where I was. And it's Friday night, prime time, ESPN. You know, you got to think about, like, in those days, what are you doing tonight? Come over and watch ESPN, and then we're going to go out to the club, go to the bar. And folks came over, and you're watching the game or what. Like, that was an event.
Yeah.
Like, we got beers, we got da-da-da-da. That was the pregame to going out. And in every bar in America, ESPN was on. And it's Friday night prime time. So everybody's outside and around some sort of a television. Traditionally, ESPN extends broadcasts for a game that has gone
Extra innings.
innings, right?
Overtime, yeah.
Overtime. Never in the history have they. It's Sports Center is what they're cutting into.
Huge show.
The show, right?
The show. This is how we eat. And they're like, a guy I think named Jamie Reynolds was like, tell him we're not fucking leaving.
We're extending this.
We're extending this. And then he got the behind the scenes, you know, phone calls of probably dudes who were cursing each other out in Bristol, Connecticut and San Francisco winning the debate, and then that happening. And people are watching, right? And like if you're at a bar, someone's like, hey, this guy hey, you see this? Hey. And someone's like, hey, turn the volume up on that.
Yeah.
All right. And so now the volume's on in the bar. And now everyone is like locked in. Being like, hey, is this guy going to make it's Tony Hawk, right? Okay. All right. Oh, 17 tries.
That was it. He landed on
17 try. 17th try.
Oh,
Goodness. Man.
So think about folks at home and like the pass along are like, you got to see that. Hey, are you watching ESPN right now? Tony Hawk's trying to make a 900. He's getting close. Go to it.
Yeah.
Like I can't. It's not going to be on fucking Instagram.
yeah.
And so that's how. And it's Friday night. And
Did he have any idea? Did he have any idea that this was going on in the back end?
did Tony? No.
Yeah, he's just like trying to.
He's just.
Yeah.
It's a
locked.
contest for Tony.
It's a contest, and it's
Yeah.
also like he's been wrestling with this thing privately at this point for like 8 years.
A lot of people were.
Yes.
Also, a lot of
Danny.
people were trying to do this.
Danny was, Tuss
Pappas.
Tuss was Pappas was as well. Like it was a
a
whole
race.
thing. It was a race.
Yeah.
It was a space.
It
It was
really
a
was.
space
And
race.
Tony
Straight
Hawk
up.
had the main stage for this.
And it happened not at some ramp. It happened on
Live. TV.
on live TV with 5,000 people that were willing it to happen.
Yes, the energy was so there.
Oh my god! I mean, it was insane.
Did you
Yeah, look at Bucky giving.
Look at that.
giving-
Yeah. This is.
I thought he had flies around him. I thought they were trying to swat the flies away.
No,
But
it was doing they were, you know, just
Yeah.
do we even know how many people were watching that broadcast? Did it ever come out?
I don't remember
numbers?
the numbers, but it was millions.
I would assume, yeah.
And then you got to think about the fact that, like, what did SportsCenter lead with when this was over? History has just been made.
Yes.
Oh.
Tony Hawk, you've known him since you were young. The Birdman, 900.
Right.
And then, pshing, 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 Letterman, you name
Yeah.
it, international. This was the fucking trick heard around the world,
Also, his video game was on the cusp of coming out.
which he's low key been testing that no one even knows about.
Yep.
Right?
So
And
that
the-
was probably on the back of his mind too, like just all of this shit coming like full front, like damn.
And here's my favorite part about this.
Going to be a secret trick.
Tony could have said, like, all right, sweet, I'm going to go and just like bags, and more bags. He said, hold on. Open the door and was like, hey, everybody, let's go. Everybody. Skateboarding,
Yeah.
anything, let's go. I'm
Yeah.
taking everybody with me. There's nobody else like that, dude.
That's why I love Tony Hawk is because he's done a lot of stuff for us here. We had a little game show thing back there where he came and played his own game. Like he does things just because you're a skateboarder and he wants to help and he's reaching, he's taking the time out of his day.
He's an ambassador.
Straight
like
up,
the
yeah.
definition of not even an ambassador, he is the ambassador.
Yeah.
And he has single-handedly helped to make skateboarding remain relevant to the world.
He's the godfather
And-
Don of this shit.
And
Real talk.
respected, like
Straight
dude,
up.
All the parents when I was a kid, they were like, "Oh, you skate? What is that?"
Right.
And then they see dude on.
Oh,
ES
Tony Hawk does it?
Yeah.
We love him. Sure.
Yeah.
As you were. Yeah. Kids are just like, my mom.
She said she was
Fucking Tony Hawk, bro.
This is the truth.
It's the
Following the
truth.
trend.
It's the truth.
the truth.
It's the truth.
I can't even imagine anybody else in that position, but I think we have the best guy in that position.
Straight up.
Hands
Oh, hell
down.
yeah.
And
Hands
there's
down.
no other ambassador of any sport who is able to transcend generations. Bro, at X Games this year, this dude shows up. He's, co-hosting with Jason Ellis and I. And he comes to set, and it's like
Jesus walked in.
Jesus, Harry Styles, and
Taylor Swift.
all fused into one. Like young girls, like clearly in their teens and early 20s, are like, Taylor! And I remember one time just looking at him like being, bro, and he's like, he literally just, and he's down there like taking pictures, and they're girls like, oh my god, I got like a photo, and you're like, oh my god, this dude is.
He's so humble.
He's so
super humble, bro.
so humble, and I think it's this. There's just this permanent childlike enthusiasm that there's just no amount of jaded. Hearing Tony talk about skateboarding today is the same way that he's talked about it every day.
Right.
His passion, his excitement for who's doing what now today, is just like it was 40 years ago.
And it's funny too because this is his story to tell. We're just talking about Tony, but he was the underdog. He was the guy that nobody liked, and he was going up against Christian Asoy, the cool guy, and like there's
He was hated in his high school.
he was.
That's what
And
I heard for sure.
Now look at him.
Yeah, he's like,
it's like
people are like, I went to school with you, bro. And he's like, yeah, and
yeah.
fuck you.
I talk shit. I talk shit.
Probably talk shit. Fuck you.
Talk shit.
But yeah, when he called me to personally invite me on the Hawk tour, and then to be able to do that
Yeah.
for 3 years was, I'm so glad there was no social media then.
Were you going back and forth from the tour to X Games, or was it seasonal?
So we did the tour for about 3.5, 4 weeks straight. And then we would go into X Games from like maybe 2 weeks later.
You just mentioned too, like you just were doing the X Games again with Jason Ellis and Tony Hawk.
Yeah, first time in 10 years.
You were with X Games for what, 13 years?
Yeah.